Hello, everybody. Hello, Planet Earth. How is everybody doing?
We are doing great.
We are doing absolutely awesome.
Are you scared yet?
I am.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
scared.
We totally scared him already.
Oh, yeah, and this happens. This happens. Like, we scare them at hello. I think it's because we're too friendly. I honestly think that's what it is, but, you know, I never know.
So, tell us about the name. How'd you guys come up with the name for the band?
Well, the name Beauty and the Suffering came from a song lyric from a song from my previous band, and it always resonated with me in a way, and I definitely think that a lot of the lyrical content that I was exploring, that I messed around with and that I dabble in, it has a lot to do with this concept of beauty and the suffering, the things that you go through, the awful, things that we go through, that we put ourselves through, that we put each other through, and when we come out the other side, we're like the butterfly emerging from the cocoon, and that was part of the theme of that song, and that's part of where I kind of feel like a lot of the lyrical content is coming from. And you might not get that from the Crazies because it's it's kind of a zombie song, but I think that some of the things that we're trying to explore conceptually and even lyrically, I think there's elements in there that touch on that, and I think that's going to be something that I'm going to constantly come back to. It's always been a part of me. I've always felt that tragedy was beautiful in its own way. I've always been a huge fan of Shakespeare, and a lot of the things that he touches on were along those lines also. So the name means a lot to me, the band name, and I hope it means a lot to everybody else because I feel like it's something that we're all going through. We're just trying to make it through to the other side, and that's kind of where I feel like that, that's coming from. So that's kind of where the name came from.
I'm looking... Oh, my God, Carol, have you seen the lineup in this group?
Oh, heck yeah. Awesome. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, I have got a question. Okay, I'm a big black metal fan and stuff like that, and I noticed that you wear the face makeup. I love bands that wear the face makeup. Who is your inspiration? I gotta know.
Well, when you're talking about like musical influences, I think they really run all over the place. I mean, to narrow it down and just, I would have to say, without a doubt, Prince is definitely, and I know that's an unusual influence for a band that's doing more metal, but he is. And I think I come from more of a songwriting perspective. I think that as a songwriter, I gravitate towards people who are the artists that usually do a lot more than just a guitar player, like coming in and playing guitar, and a bass player coming in and playing bass. I pretty much pick up whatever I need to and throw down whatever I think works and what sounds right to me for the song. So Prince is a multi-instrumentalist, and he's a songwriter, multi-instrument songwriter. I definitely, and I think that I've studied, had made a study of about a dozen of his albums back when I used to do that sort of thing. And I think there's a lot of other people out there. Nine Inch Nails is definitely another, more modern one. I know that Ministry is one, from the earlier days. There was a lot of hair metal back in those days. I know Zombie and Manson are also, industrial, hard rock kind of things that, I've been into at different times. I know Rammstein's another one. If you're talking about like musical influences, now if you're talking, more like, concepts and stuff like that, I've read a ton of comic books when I was a kid, just tons. I just read, boom, I'd read one in 5 minutes, grab another one, start reading another one, and I was always into the bigger, themes that they were, showing in a lot of those comics. So, I'm a huge, I study a lot of history on my own. And that's also a big part of what what kind of influences me as far as that. I'm really big on apocalyptic themes, and obviously some of the zombie stuff is obviously, an influence. But it's more than just that. It's just like the end of civilization and how would that happen, and what might it look like if it were to happen. I think I like to dabble in that a little bit, and because my personal perspective on the way things are going, it seems like we might be a little closer to that every day. So it's just something, and I think that I'm probably not alone, because I think a lot of the art that we're seeing now these days with movies and music is a lot darker, and I think that's because we're coming to terms in a way with what we're headed for. So a lot of indie film also, even a lot of biblical references too. So there's a lot of things that are pulling me in different directions, and I like to just see where everything leads me as I'm writing away, on whether it's lyrics or music or something visual. When we're thinking about maybe where we could take an album cover, a single cover, anything you can possibly think of. I mean, so there's a lot of stuff in there, and I think that if that's where you're asking, I think that's a good start.
Very cool.
Yes. And straight up, I mean, I don't listen to a lot of Prince or anything like that, because, I don't. I'm more into metal, but I'm going to be honest with you. His songwriting abilities are absolutely amazing. He does write really good, and, I agree with the history thing. Oh, my God. I love history.
Sure, yeah. A lot of the struggle, I mean, we've definitely, we've been fighting since day one, and we haven't stopped. And I don't think anybody should be really surprised at where we end up. I mean, that's just the way it is. But I don't want to. I think that one of the things that I think I turn a corner on is that I don't sit there and blame any one particular thing. I'm not a huge. You're not going to hear me go out there and bash a lot of religion. You're not going to hear me go out there and bash this group or that group. I just think that it's kind of just what we are, and we need to accept it. And I think that we can go right down the path, right straight to hell, and that's the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be, and there's no getting around it. And I think that that's kind of what the way I feel. There's just accept it. I mean, accept what's going and enjoy. The point is not to just accept and be all bummed out. The point is to accept and enjoy the time that we have here now. Enjoy it. So wake up, go do something. Go be happy. Don't worry so much about the small shit. Just go out there and that kind of a thing. I think that's kind of where I come from. I accept everything that's that's going to happen, or that what might happen, and I'm happy. I'm doing music. I'm making music. I'm doing the things that I love. I'm spending time with the people that I care about, and that's what I'm doing. And I hope everybody else gets that from it more so than the doom and gloom that I think is kind of, like I said, I think everybody's kind of feeling the same vibe. But I don't want to dwell on the sad part of it's all going to end. Just enjoy the time while you have it now.
Very cool. Hey, can you tell us who makes up this very talented band, Beauty and the Suffering? Who all's in it?
Well, right now, what I've been doing is I've had a bunch of special guests come out and guest in the videos. And right now, what I'm doing behind the scenes is I'm putting together a live band, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to play shows by probably by March, April. That's what I'm targeting right now. And I've got some great guys that I'm talking with right now and that are auditioning over video. We're still accepting auditions for guitar and bass and drums, but I think there's a good crop of guys that I'm talking with right now. So that's what we're targeting right now. I would love to be able to play shows by March and April.
Hey, Carol.
Coming along very quickly. We're putting it together right now. We're working on backing tracks. We're working on a light show. We're working on setting up rehearsals, and we're working on setting up auditions in person. Right now, I have people sending me video auditions, so it's going very well.
Very cool.
And, that's kind of where that's coming from right now. That's where we're at.
And that would be right in time for Rocklahoma.
A lot of the spring stuff. I want to catch right on the spring and jump right into some summer stuff, and then be just fully primed and ready to go by fall.
So where are you out of? Your Facebook page says Oklahoma City, is that right?
Yeah. Right now I'm in the Oklahoma City metro area. I'm from Chicago. I've spent some time in Minneapolis. So these are all, and I know that, there's a lot of people that I'm working with right now. They're in the St. Louis area, and in Michigan, and even Dallas. So there's a lot of, right now I think we got this big line, we got this big strip of areas that we could go and hit right away in a straight line from up Highway 35 from Dallas to Minneapolis, and then just over to the usual Midwestern places that we hit before in my previous band, which would have been like Chicago, Cleveland, Detroit, that kind of stuff. Those are the areas that we will start playing in, and I'm hoping that, like I said, we're targeting April, and that's what I would like to see happen.
Well, here's a little hint. You aren't very far from Rocklahoma. I think you guys ought to start trying to get in there.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea. And, you know, I was going to tell you, I've got, like, a lot of friends on my Facebook that, and you're on my Facebook, but if you go ahead and you can post stuff for guitar players and stuff, I've got friends all over the place, and a lot of them need bands. So, you know, I mean, you could probably check and see if you can get your guitar players, whatever, you know, here and there. Plus, I used to live in Detroit.
Want to keep somebody. I want to have a band that's based. Obviously, we don't want someone. Obviously, I think it makes it more difficult when you got somebody in LA trying to commute to, Oklahoma City at the moment. So we've been, feelers out, and within a few hours of Oklahoma City, Dallas areas where we're looking for people. We're looking for people in Tulsa. We're looking for people in Kansas and stuff like that. And we're open as long as they're able to make it down and stuff like that within reason. I know that I run this, a little bit differently, because I think in a lot of cases you have bands that have, 4 or 5 different guys, and they all do, you have a guy that plays guitar, and you got a guy that plays bass, and you got a guy that plays drums, and you got a singer, and they're kind of like separate, entities or whatever, and they kind of come together, and it's, it's probably, you try to make it work and stuff like that. Everybody fulfills their role. And I think the difference with this particular project is that I'm writing pretty much everything on my own, and I go into the studio and I cut everything on my own. I have some guests come in and track some stuff for me when I'm looking for a little bit of a little bit extra flavor and stuff like that. So it's a little bit of a different approach, and I don't necessarily set up weekly band rehearsals and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, this isn't very uncommon for a lot of bigger bands. This is an approach that that they probably do as well, where they rehearse for a week or two before they go out on tour and get everybody together and make sure they're on the same page, work on the show, and then go out and do it, and then everybody goes back and does what they were doing before. It's more of that kind of a setup. It's just the way that this is coming together. And there's a reason why I do it this way. It's just because in the past I've always I've run into situations where when you have 5 different personalities in a band, people go off in different directions, and they can go off in different directions when you least expect it. So, you're working on something, and the guitar player decides that he wants to go, he wants to go do drugs for 6 months, or he's having a problem with his girl, and he wants to go figure that out for a few months, or he's got to go on a walkabout, and he's got to go, walk the earth for a while and figure out what it is that he wants to do. And in this situation, I don't that doesn't come up in this situation, because if anybody decides to go do whatever, they're free to do that, and I'm still able to keep everything going because I'm pretty much the writer of the material. And I think that's for me, this works better for me.
Yeah.
I think it's quite a bit more common than you might think, and a lot of people don't talk about it because I think a lot of people prefer the concept of a band, a bunch of guys coming together and doing that kind of stuff. And I agree. I think that would be great, but it's just so hard with personalities. And I've learned, along the way that you can't control everything. I don't want to control everything. Everybody should want to be where they're at. I want people that want to be a part of, that want to be here, be a part of it, stuff like that. So that's kind of where I'm coming from on that.
Yeah, and I understand how that goes. I mean, you're going to be basically living with this band when you go on tour.
Absolutely.
And if you have personality conflicts, that can be bad.
You start seeing the personality quirks a little bit more closely. Like somebody snores, or somebody doesn't shower as much as maybe they should. You start noticing things like that.
Or they lick windows.
or slap chickens. If you slap a chicken's ass, people judge. It happens to me all the time. Like I said, I've got a lot of animal cruelty people after me, but I'm very nice to my animals. They're happy. They smile. You ever seen a camel smile? I have. Anyway. Okay, I have a question for you. Are you scared yet? Actually, that wasn't the question. But the question actually is, so when you were a kid, what was the first album you ever bought that really,
That's such a That's a good question. I'd have to think about that. What was it? The first album I ever bought?
Yeah.
Ooh, I gotta think about that for a minute. Probably, probably, I want to say probably something like Kiss or something. That's my guess. I'm guessing. I mean, I just at some point I just dove right in and started listening to everything all at once. You're influenced by mainstream music, whether or not you want to admit that or not. So, whatever was on the radio at the time. But I don't know. That's a good question. I know that there was I know a lot of, like I was saying, a lot of 80s hair metal was definitely part of it. But that's a good one. I mean, you got me. I don't know. I mean, I'm saying like some, I would say some old Kiss albums or something.
So was that the first album that made you want to do this?
No, absolutely not. No, I would say that I think, when I was like 3 years old and like, grabbing a tennis racket and acting like I was playing a guitar or something like that way back, that's the kind of the early memories that I remember. I was always, messing around with, that kind of stuff. I was, my parents put me in a bunch of music lessons when I was younger for like piano and stuff, and so that was that's where I started, and but yeah.
Okay. So, in your previous band, when you had a show, was there a certain ritual that you had to go through before you stepped up on that stage?
There's a certain ritual. Let me think here. The ritual would have been, let me think, to just make sure that we got to the show, probably.
I know my question now.
Yeah. Those were some fun days for sure. It was a big learning curve, and we learned what not to do very quickly. We learned how not to tour. I'd like to think that with Beauty and the Suffering that we don't run into a lot of the problems that we ran into back then, with things like vehicle stuff. Try to make smarter decisions. Try to know where to make sure that we're keeping track of certain things as opposed to keeping track of other things that weren't as important. That's probably what I would say. In thinking about it. So.
Okay. Carol?
And that noise that you're hearing in the background is actually Renee typing.
Sorry.
No.
It's okay.
It's awesome. The chat thing?
Actually, I have another question for you. If you were to be the headliner, what band would you choose to open for you, dead or alive?
Dead or alive?
Any band. Yeah, any band. If you were the headliner, who would you want to open?
This is going to sound really weird, but as you're asking me this question, the first person that pops into my head is Buddy Holly, and I don't know.
Oh, cool.
That is awesome.
That is cool.
That is awesome.
The first,
honestly.
I'm just thinking. Other than that, I don't know. Dead or alive, that's a good one, but I would say that. That's probably where I would go with.
Killer. That is amazing. I like that answer.
Yes. That is the first time I've ever heard that. And you know what? You think about all those old bands and stuff, like Buddy Holly, Ricky Valens. I mean, all those guys. I mean, they are what actually made the music what it is today.
For sure. Yeah. Well, yeah, they were definitely pioneering back then.
Oh, hell yeah.
Before I ask you about the Crazies, I want to know what your most rock star moment's been.
Oh, geez. Most rock star moment. Well, that's a good one. There's been a few. There's been a few really good moments. There's been a lot. But if you want to narrow down the peaks, I would have to say that when we, obviously when Marazine went out on our first tour, the first show in Cleveland was pretty spectacular. It was a lot of fun. That was a high point. I know that there was another point where I was in Minneapolis jamming with American Head Charge. We jammed for a few weeks, on and off. That was a high point also. I went in and learned about 25 songs like within like 4 rehearsals. That was a lot of fun. Another one. Oh, and probably the more recent one is when we did I brought in a cover song, a Motley Crue cover to my band, and we put out this cover of Livewire, which I kind of picked out because I thought, to me, I just felt like it was the right vibe for what we were doing, and I had this idea for a riff and how to shape it a certain way so it would be it would fit in with the Marazine style. And then a couple months later, Tommy Lee got a hold of it, and he was raving about it on his social media pages, and Nikki Sixx was raving about it. Oh, this gets kind of funny, actually. And actually, so we got both Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx talking about our song on their social media. I think Tommy Lee's like fucking wicked version of Livewire. Nikki Sixx is like killer, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm saving this because I'm going to wallpaper my studio with it. And then literally within like 2 hours of seeing this, I get an email from Nikki Sixx's attorney, and he's asking to make sure that we got everything licensed properly because he wants to make sure they get their nickel. So, and I did, of course. So that's kind of how that went.
All right, I have a question for you. Okay, we did the biggest rock star moment. What is your biggest Spinal Tap moment?
Spinal Tap moment? Oh my gosh! Oh, I gotta think about that. I don't even know.
Well, I'm a walking Spinal Tap moment, but I know that you probably have like one certain one that just like
Spinal Tap moment. That's a good one. I gotta think about that. Oh, there's so many problems that we had. I mean, I'd have to say that probably the biggest. Oh God. Okay, here we go. When we had started our tour, and it was like I said, we went from the biggest rock star moment by playing in Cleveland that first night on that tour, and like in 2007, and then we were heading down the road, and by the time we got down, we had basically what had happened was we before we went on this tour, we were debating on how we should go about grabbing a vehicle to do the tour, and we had several options in front of us, and they were both pretty. We were a younger band. We didn't know really what the fuck we were doing. So I had my drummer at the time who has since passed away, and I miss him very much. He was telling me, Dietrich, our options are to get a 15-passenger van, which I was leaning towards, and then, or we need to get a bus. And I was like, well, we don't really need a bus because we're only doing, we got this one tour book. I don't think we need to go and get a 15-year, get a bus or even, whatever for something that's going to last up, 5 weeks. In any case, I remember we were like, well, Dietrich, touring bands need buses. And I was like, well, I think we should look more into the 15-passenger van. And as he's telling me, he called me back, and, a few days later, and he's like, well, I did the research, and I found out about the 15-passenger van because I was covering everything else except the vehicle, and I let my other band members figure out the vehicle. So you guys figure out the vehicle, I'll figure out all the rest. In any case, when he comes back to me, he's like going, well, what we could probably do is rent this vehicle, but they're giving us a lot of restrictions on how to use it. It's not going to have a trailer hitch, but what I could probably do is have my friend just burn one on there, and we could throw a trailer hitch on this rental, and we could go out and do the tour and then have it taken off. It's just hearing how this would happen just sounds like, it just sounds totally, now it sounds kind of asinine, but it's kind of actually funny because we actually considered doing that. And I'm sure what probably would have happened is probably nothing, because we never had any problems with the police while we were on tour. We never got pulled over or anything that I remember, that I was aware of. Doesn't mean it didn't happen, but I could have been like asleep when it happened. But we didn't go that route. It turned out that our live guitar player at the time went out. He just came at me one day, and I guess my drummer had worked this out with the guitar player. They went and grabbed a bus off of eBay. So the next thing I know, we got this bus that they're going to grab in Florida, and they're driving it back. I believe it was Florida, and they're driving it back, and anyways, in any case, when they get the bus back, I'm like, oh, we got a bus. I'm like, well, this is great. I'm just, at this point, I'm just kind of going along with everything too. So they got the bus off at eBay. Well, what happened is that they never really, the guy who grabbed the bus, the guitar player at the time, didn't really get the bus road ready. So as we went from Cleveland to Grand Rapids, to, I believe it was Madison, down to Springfield, Missouri, down to whatever it was in Kansas, I want to say it was Lawrence, and then down to Oklahoma City. A bunch of things just started happening. We got to Oklahoma City where it started getting, this tour was in the spring, so it started in like March, and it's still very cold in the Midwest, but by the time we got down to Oklahoma, it was a lot warmer. So we got to Oklahoma, and I'm looking around, and I'm like going, okay, cool. So we hadn't turned off the bus because it was too cold and we wanted to keep the heat going. But we got down to Oklahoma City and it was I go, whoa, we can finally turn off the bus. And everybody kind of, it was like a secret or something because everybody turns around and looks at me and goes, well, no, we can't actually turn off the bus because if we turn off the bus, it might not start up again. And I was like, what? And this is like something to do with an air starter, and it just wasn't, if you turn it off, it may not turn back on. It was a real pain in the ass to get it to turn back on. And that's why I was like looking around, I was like, so wait a minute, are you telling me that we got to have this bus never turned off for 5 weeks? And they're like, yeah, this is normal for buses. And I'm like going, oh. And I'm like going, I understand that, but I mean, it's like, the gas. What about the gas money we're going to waste while it doesn't need to be on? That was one thing. The other thing was that the bus hadn't been looked over for brakes.
Oh,
so
crap.
Literally, while we're driving on the highway, we had, from Texas to Florida, we had all kinds of problems with the brakes. We literally were not stopping.
Well, that's not good.
I remember the guitar player, he hooked up with us, and he was telling us that, he was the only one that knew how to drive the bus. So he was doing the shows, and he was driving this bus all night. And I remember at some point, he was asking me, dude, you should drive this bus. And I was like, yeah? And he's like, yeah, it's easy. You just kind of like, and he's telling me about the bus. This was like in the first few days. I was like, yeah, maybe I could drive this bus. But in any case, if I had driven the bus, we definitely would have been dead because, if the brakes not work while I was driving, I don't know what the fuck I would have done. But in any case, we went through red lights, a couple times. We actually tapped somebody on their bumper on the highway once. It was just a disaster. I thought for sure when we went into San Antonio at the White Rabbit that we were just going to fucking burst right through the wall like the Kool-Aid man.
That would have been a hell of an entrance.
Here we are. Like, so, yeah. Anyways.
That would have been a kick-ass entrance,
that's
though.
That's definitely what I would call a Spinal Tap moment. And it's too bad because probably some of the problems that we had could have been prevented if it had been road, checked before we had gone out on the tour. Because I was like, it's like when you're talking about Spinal Tap, the manager, and he's like suddenly realized, his information's traveling back and forth between band members and manager and the people that they hired to do certain things for them, like the Stonehenge thing, and they're like coming to the realization that, oh my God, this could have been prevented with just a little bit of better communication, but we're such idiots, and we're standing here with our looking like assholes, So I guess that would be my Spinal Tap moment. It's just the ridiculous near-death experiences with the bus. I could go on with this bus thing for another 15 minutes, but I'm going to stop it right there.
We have had orders from the Voodoo Queen to play the song.
Yeah, she's sick of hearing me and Renee. We scare her
and
too.
me. What's going on about this bus?
Now, actually, should we tell him what she said about him in the chat room? She said, "Hi."
That's up to you.
Hey, ladies, you should go check out his pictures.
Yes, she said, check out your pictures.
He's pretty sexy.
He's your sexy guy.
She said, no, too late.
All right, I'm getting scared over here.
All right, we will play The Crazies, and then we're going to have you tell us about the song afterwards, since we've been demanded to play it now.
We scare her.
All right, guys, this is Beauty and the Suffering, the Crazies. We will be back, and yes, that is a threat.
Yes, it is.
We're back.
Hello.
And Carol just notified everybody we had to tinkle.
Yes, I was told before when Mike was on that I couldn't say tinkle, so I usually just pissed in the neighbor's yard. Now I just go for the dogs or something. Yeah, people are going to stop fucking with my house. Anyway.
Okay, the chat room has went completely haywire. They're talking about titties and, titties, puppies, and boobs. I'm not sure where, I guess Werewolf's talking about puppies, I mean.
He must have thrown one over his shoulder. He throws puppies over his shoulder, he says. And I think that's a lot worse when I do. At least when my animals walk away, they smile.
All right. I guess we should get back to the interview, huh?
All right, let's do this.
You want to tell us about the Crazies?
The Crazies, sure, yeah. We just played it, right?
Yeah.
I had the sound down. I couldn't hear anything. Well, yeah, the Crazies was... it's really weird how that came together because in 2012, it's hard to imagine that I've been doing this project for 2 years, and that we only put out the first song about 2 months ago. So it's really just like a 2-month-old kind of a project, I guess. But I've been working on it for 2 years. And anyways, in 2012, I wrote like about 40 songs, and complete songs. And the Crazies, I had started setting up studio sessions, and the Crazies was one of the later songs. I asked the first person I was thinking about to have down as a special. The only thing I don't do in the studio is play live drums. First person I thought of was my friend Chris from American Head Charge, and so I wanted him to come down and do this. So I sent him I said we got 1 day in the studio. Here's 12 songs. Come down and let's see how many we can get through. And I'm like thinking we'll get through like 10 of them, which is really kind of just a lot to ask. When you're going for when you're doing what we're doing here. But in any case, I sent him let's see how many we can do. In any case, the Crazies was not part of the initial 12. It was the 2 that I tagged on later, like 2 weeks before the session. I said, hey, see what you can do with these 2 also, and see if we can get through those. So Chris came down. He did 7 songs for us, and then he took off. But the Crazies was not one of them. So I ended up sending that song off to Angel, who played in the band Dope, and then he jumped right on board. And he got me the track, and it was and so what ended up happening was as I'm going through and I'm really trying to figure out this game plan of how I wanted to approach introducing my new band to the public. The Crazies just kept on popping up as just a great way to introduce everybody to this new band, the lyrics are kind of it's kind of got this up tempo party kind of vibe, I guess. I don't know, punk kind of industrial punk kind of thing going. I don't know. I mean, everybody's, probably got a different interpretation of it. That's what it reminded me of, though. In any case, the lyrics I thought were kind of turned on their ear because you got this song, and I was like, when I write lyrics, I don't think especially where I'm going, but sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. In this case, I wasn't. So by the time I got done with the song, I was like looking at it going, this kind of sounds like a zombie song, but it sounds like a zombie song from the perspective of the zombies as opposed to this perspective of, whatever. So, and that's kind of what the Crazies ended up being, a rallying cry for the zombie apocalypse from the zombies' perspective. And that's kind of where we're at on that. And I thought that was kind of cool. And it just so happened, when we're talking about the Crazies and how we ended up deciding to visualize it, I knew what I wanted to go for, album cover wise, and then I ran into this. I ran into a friend of mine at a bar in town, at a club in town here, and I started talking. They said they had just come from a video shoot from this guy, and I said I'm looking for guys to do some video stuff with. I was looking for a live performance, a band performance kind of a video where it was just a band, just something that I could get out, for promoters and A&R to kind of check out what we're doing. And it turned out when I sat down with him, we started talking about The Walking Dead, which obviously, it's like, one of the bigger shows out there. But we, obviously, when you're talking about zombie stuff, there's a huge library of stuff that came well before The Walking Dead. You talk about Night of the Living Dead, the Romero classics. You talk about all these zombie, the Fulci, Italian stuff. And you talk about all kinds of different stuff here. So we sat down and we just started going back and forth and going comic books and zombies and oh my God, we're so did you just become my BFF forever? We had one of those kinds of conversations when we realized we were on the same page. So I started thinking about how this kind of a thing could incorporate into what I was thinking about by introducing everybody to 3 songs. And it just kind of turned out that I wrote a really simple, quick treatment that just involved 3 different, chapters that could be this beginning of this process that that you've seen with the Crazies right now. And that's kind of where that started. I mean, that's kind of where it started. And he was a huge zombie fan. I was a huge zombie fan, apocalyptic fan. The whole biblical thing and everything. We just threw it all all in there. So that's where that's how the Crazies came about. From studio to video.
Cool.
All right. Before I ask my question, Renee's got it, because we were talking while we were on our potty break, obviously, and we brought up the Rob Zombie thing once again, and but he doesn't know about the Rob Zombie thing, so now Renee has to tell the story about Rob Zombie.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
Oh yeah.
This happened last year.
I'm on the edge of my seat, literally.
Happened last year at Rocklahoma. Okay.
I was there, but I wasn't with them at that particular time. Just keeping that in mind.
Me and my dear friend Sean, who is also another DJ, and our photographer were walking over to, I can't even remember who we were going to see. Was it Papa Roach, maybe?
No, it wasn't Papa Roach, because me and you went and seen Papa Roach. I think it was like it was the last night.
1,000-Foot Crutch then.
Yeah.
We were walking, and here comes the lead singer from Korn. My husband, I love him to death, but oh my God.
Oh, we all love Rob Zombie. We do.
He goes up to him, he's got the dreadlocks, and he goes, "Oh my God, look, it's Rob Zombie."
And those guys ran.
We ran because at first we were actually thinking.
Rob Zombie ran?
No. It was the lead singer from Korn.
Okay.
And actually,
you
Renee,
said it's Rob Zombie,
Sean,
really
and Robin ran.
Yeah, the radio station people ran. My husband was left there standing face to face with them. It was funny. You had to be there.
Did I say it right though? Is that what happened? You thought, or it was Rob Zombie?
My husband thought it was Rob Zombie.
Oh, but it was Jonathan Davis?
Yeah.
He ran?
Yeah.
We were actually trying to walk up there and possibly ask him for an interview until my husband did this, and we all darted off in different directions and left the poor guy standing there.
Right, yeah.
Okay, now for my question. Okay, I have this question for you. Okay, me and you, when we were having our little potty break, I told you about I told you about a weird fan of Lynam's that actually went into a porta potty and they flipped it over on her. Have you ever had any weird fans like that? Anything that you remember, like strange stalker type fans?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, they suck.
Anybody flip a porta potty on me? But yes, for sure. I don't know. It's kind of I don't think that's nearly as exciting to talk about.
So.
But I know what you're saying. Yeah, of course. There's definitely run into situations where people probably, take it a little too far.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of brand new bands that we play on here. Do you have any advice for them?
Any advice? Well, stick with what you really believe in. That would be what I would say. If you're having fun and then do it. And if it's you're not fun and I don't know. I think I'm still trying to. The music industry is always changing. So when you talk about advice, the advice that you heard 10 years ago isn't the same that it was 5 years ago, and it isn't the same that I heard 5 days ago. So it's constantly evolving. Just, I guess, prepare for change and be ready for it to roll with it. That would be my advice. I guess probably the best advice that I could give.
Yvonne just put in a request.
Oh,
Yes.
goodness.
She thinks you should make a drive down to St. Louis on February 22nd for her B-Day show.
Right, I know. That sounds like fun. That would definitely be...
I wish I could
don't know. February. What's going on in February?
Hey, I could meet you in Kansas City and we could drive together, yeah?
There we go. There we go. Problem solved.
Problem solved.
Problem solved.
So, what is the craziest thing you've seen on tour? I know it would be with your other band, but craziest thing you've seen on the road?
Well, I could get back on the bus thing, but I don't know. That's probably... I think I've told the bus stories. I should probably be down and probably leave the rest for... I don't know. I know that Montreal was a little bit different when we were up there. I don't know if it's really considered that crazy, though.
By the way, Deanna, one of the girls in chat room, says her birthday is January 28th. Dinner? Question mark. Laugh out loud.
Well, happy birthday, Deanna. Early birthday. I love birthdays.
Yeah, there's a lot of January birthdays. I've noticed this. But I think that my birthday was, it was supposed to be ice skating and innocent fun, but instead I ended up having to dance to pop and country music, and, well, I made a spectacle of myself. This happens with me because, I like to, when I look around, I love Sean. Anyway, but I like to embarrass the people I'm with when they make me do things I don't want to do. So, I did. I did jumping jacks on the dance floor. I did the Macarena, and I don't even know how to do it. It just came to me. But, yeah.
Macarena?
Macarena. Yeah, they didn't even play the song.
Is the Macarena different from a Macarena?
Yeah, that might be it.
Okay.
It was too many Jaeger bombs. Way too many Jaeger bombs that night. Way too many. Oh yeah. Oh, I was feeling my oats. Yeah. Unfortunately, nobody else was. Holy crap. Anyway, so, oh gosh, I had a question for you, and I got to talking and I lost it. I can't do too.
She does this.
I do this a lot.
They actually did listen to the 30-second sample of Reveille.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You want to talk to them about that, or did Carol remember her question?
Actually, I kind of remembered it. All right. So, if you were in the music business, what would you be doing now? What would be your second choice?
That's a good question. I mean, to be honest with you, it's like, I would say, I think in the old days, or like, back when I used to get this question, I would say, like, I have no idea. I'd be in a coma or something. I don't know what I would do. But I think that, look, I mean, I prefer to do music. But if, something awful happened, I guess I would try to, I don't know, I would probably do something creative is all I know. I would probably try to be, I do a lot of writing. So I would probably be writing if I wasn't doing music. But as long as I'm able to do music, I'm going to do music. And it's not a thing where,
awesome.
you get tired of it and you don't do it anymore. I really don't care if I'm still going to be doing music regardless of if there's a way to get it out there or not. I'm going to continually write, which is what I do. I just constantly come up with ideas and I throw them down. It's weird how it happens. A lot of times, like, if I'm like going, I'm tired, I guess I'm gonna get rest up a bit, and I'll sit there and I'll be dozing off, or in the process of dozing off, and that when you're in between your awake and your sleep thing is when I start getting ideas. I'll go, wait a minute, I think I got an idea, so I'll get up and I'll start working on a song again. So that's a lot of how things happen. That's one way that I come up with ideas. That just happened the other day. I came up with it with a few riffs and changes that I was like, wow, I got this idea. So I jump on and get the basic idea down. So that's how that comes together. And that would be what I would say. I'd probably, if I wasn't doing music, I would probably do some kind of creative, writing or something.
That is awesome. My dream is to be a McDonald's worker. But unfortunately, I'm a deli worker, and I also work on a radio station. Someday I'll get my goal.
And I think they're about ready to start throwing stuff at us. They want to hear you guys.
They want to hear the music. They want to hear music. So that's why I had to throw that in there, just to prolong it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, let's get to more Beauty in the Suffering.
Well, this is Juliet and then Reveille. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, Reveille. Which one are we playing? Are we playing Reveille? Are we playing Juliet? Or
Juliet's up now.
Okay, this is a 1-minute sample of the song Juliet, which we are targeting for early spring, April-ish kind of. It's my best guess right now. It might be earlier, it might be later.
Oh, cool. All right, guys, check it out.
Don't know whether to think it, don't know when to lie in. Remember when you ran away and I got on my knees and begged you not to leave because I go berserk? Well, you left me anyhow, and then the days got worse and worse, and now you see I've gone completely out of my mind. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time,
And we are back.
Oh, yes.
So are we going to get hit this time? We're talking. Sorry, guys. Gotta happen.
Dude, we do more interview pretty much on our breaks than we actually do in the chat room. It's so sad.
Yeah, I thought we were totally on air. I was like,
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Can you re-answer Renee's question, though, about where they can get your music?
Oh yeah, sure. It's beautyinthesuffering.com, and as I was saying, whatever your social media preference is, whether it's Twitter or YouTube or Facebook, Reverbnation, whatever, it's there. There's a main media page, and then you can go into our blog, and then there's updates about what's going on, and it's all right there. That's the best place to start.
Very cool. And as we said off the air, we definitely want you to come back once you guys are all set and ready to hit the tour.
Yeah, I want to hear more of your tunes. Dude, you guys rock. You absolutely rock. I love your music. I've checked you out on YouTube. I've also, since you're one of my friends on Facebook, thank you very much for having pity and being my friend. But anyway, thank you so much for being there. But yes, I've checked your music out. I love your tunes. You guys
thank you. There'll be more stuff definitely coming out. Revelation should be coming out here. I'm finalizing a lot of the final stuff right now. We just got the album artwork. We're going over right now, trying to figure out exactly when we want to drop it, how much time we want to have leading up to it. So Revelation will be coming out here very shortly. We'll have an announcement very shortly.
Cool. Awesome. Don't forget us, because we definitely want your tunes.
And we will never forget you. And I'm going to play your songs on my shows. And yes, it's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had 2 beers. You got to excuse me, okay?
What are you drinking over there?
She's having beer. I'm having the fuzzy navel variety.
Fuzzy navel. Yeah. What kind of beer are you drinking? You know, down here in Oklahoma, they don't have regular beer. They got 3.2 beer. It's like been one of my biggest. I was like, I stopped drinking beer when I got down here because they don't have regular beer.
Okay, here we go.
Trying to find it and trying to figure out which beer was real and which beer wasn't real.
That's what we can do.
All right.
Rocklahoma. No, he's got to come to Rocklahoma, and we'll bring him beer.
Yes, I'll bring him beer from Wyoming because it's 6-0. And I drink Bud Light because I'm on a diet. But yes, it's not quite 6-0, but it's close to 6-0. It is definitely better than you get in any convenience store where you're at, trust me. 3-2 beer sucks. It makes you pee a lot, and then you get the giggles for a second and then pass out.
I don't understand the logic. I don't understand that. It makes no sense to me why you would pay full price for a beer to get half a beer, and then it doesn't make any sense. I don't get it.
I know. See, and I lived in Detroit, so I know what you're going through. Detroit has real beer.
It doesn't make any sense. I can't wrap my brain around it. Therefore, I abandoned beer when I got down here. And it's just constantly, just totally hasn't made any sense. It's just a local thing. I think that I want to say that when I was in Minneapolis, they switched to 3-2 beer on certain days or something. I don't remember. But it was just weird because, it was odd. And I haven't gone back to beer. And that's my beer story.
Yeah, well, and Sean in the chat room says, why drink beer when you can drink liquor?
Well,
because liquor is horrid. It gives you a bad hangover and hurts.
No.
I switched to, shots when I got down here.
Sean says, I'm drinking with this dude for sure.
Hell yeah. And you're drinking Jaeger. You were saying Jaeger. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little story about my Jaeger before we go off the air. Okay, I went through a really bad breakup, okay, and then I got addicted to Jaeger bombs. Alright, well, I found out that I tip over easy when I drink Jaeger bombs.
Oh my God.
I was moving a chair, because I after my breakup, I couldn't be on the internet or anything like that when I was with my ex. And so I started going to my friend's house, and she let me actually live there for a bit. But she introduced me to the internet, Yahoo chat rooms. You remember those? They're extinct now, but anyway, I'd go in there, but I would go to the bar first, and I would down probably about 10 Jaeger bombs. Okay. Well, anyway, she had her computer set up, and I was moving a chair. I was too drunk to operate a chair. I couldn't do this. And so I picked this thing up, and I'm walking, and the front legs are hitting the ground. And she's like, oh, shit, Carol's going over. Carol's going over. And sure as shit, I did. I landed directly on my eye. Okay?
Oh.
I think I might have cracked a bone in my skull. I don't know. That could be what a lot of my problems are. But anyway, so I had a black eye for a month. And then a week after that, it was Thanksgiving Day. I went to the bar, drank some more Jaeger. I was doing just fine. Didn't fall over once. Didn't fall over at all. And then I get these nachos, and they're perfect. It's like the cheese on the bottom, the jalapenos, the chips. You know, I mean, they were perfect. God sang when I brought those out. But anyway, so I'm walking to the taxi, because I was responsible, walking to the taxi, and fell and threw my nachos directly into my leather purse. I still ate them. I needed new makeup after that, but I did eat them. But yes, Jaeger can be naughty.
Was it the nachos with, like, the cheese sauce, or was it the nachos with the cheese that was melted cheese?
Oh, it was with the nacho cheese sauce.
That's brutal.
Oh, they were perfect. Oh, I swear, God went, as soon as he seen what I brought out. And then it went directly in my leather bag. But nobody else can say they ate Thanksgiving dinner out of a leather bag. No one else can. I can, though. I can. But yes, it was...
And how many Jaeger bombs was that again?
Oh, dude. Okay, that night, probably maybe 12. But I didn't.
Damn, woman.
I know it was a bad time for me. Yes, it was a bad time for me. But like I said, I didn't tip over. I didn't wear bubble wrap though. I didn't tip over until I got my nachos. Okay, I did tip over, but not till I got my nachos. It's like I had this fancy little purchase that I was so proud of, and then all of a sudden, boom, right in my purse. It sucked ass. Just saying.
Well, should we let this poor guy that thought it was just going to be 30 minutes?
I think we probably should let him go. Poor guy. We're going to send you an apology letter. We're gonna send you an apology letter tomorrow.
That's okay. That was fun. It's been fun.
And thank you so much for joining us at Rock Addict Radio.
Really, thank you for having me on. Thank you for everybody who tuned in and checked it out. I hope you guys we'll have some new music announcements here coming very soon. Just coming up around the corner here. I would say another 10 days, something.
Keep your eyes open, guys, for Beauty and the Suffering. These guys kick ass.
Thank you.
Yes, you are awesome.
For putting us with us alone.
Yes, and you, we will pay for your psychiatrist visits and all that. You're gonna need help, and I'm sorry, but yeah, it's something they all go through when they come talk to me and Renee.
Oh.
I'm so sorry, but anyway, you guys need to check out Beauty and the Suffering. These guys honestly do kick ass, and I can't wait till you go on tour. I really want to catch one of your shows.
That definitely makes two of us. That is what we're working on right now. So.
All right, guys, I am actually going to put the Crazies back up for you guys to listen to. We'll be right back.